This is for you if you overthink things, struggle with being too hard on yourself, and have difficulty relaxing. In this episode, I'll share how to transform your worry, self-doubt, and overwhelm into clarity, confidence, and ease so you can achieve your dreams with ease and become more present in your life. I will share simple daily tips that you can utilize to calm your mind when you're a high achiever. This is episode number 139. Welcome to Calmly Coping. My name is Tati Garcia, and I'm a licensed therapist and coach specializing in high-functioning anxiety. I help high achievers let go of anxiety, overthinking, and overwhelm so they can finally stop overthinking everything and feel more calm, balanced, and confident from within. If this topic interests you, then please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so that you can be notified whenever I release a new episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. So first, I want to share, if you want to follow along, I share all of these tips along with some bonus journal prompts to help you complete beforehand so that you can identify maybe where you're getting stuck, what's holding you back from feeling calmer, and creating an action plan so you can learn how to calm your mind, along with a super useful daily checklist so you can keep track of all of these habits in my free resource, the Calm Your Mind Challenge. You can download that for free by going to calmlycoping.com/calm. So why is it so important to calm your mind when you're a high achiever? That's because oftentimes when you're high achieving, you probably have high expectations for yourself, which can mean that you're probably hard on yourself. And that can mean that you probably have a lot more going on in your mind because you can be thinking more about, okay, I need to do this right, or you might be struggling with things like perfectionism or overthinking things. That's why I think many times somebody who's high achieving, there can be those benefits that come from going for what you want and having and accomplishing success. And, the downside that can come with high functioning anxiety is overthinking things and being hard on yourself and having trouble with setting boundaries. So if you're somebody who resonates with that, then it can be really powerful to learn tools and steps that you can take to achieve calm on a daily basis. And these are things that are simple. They don't have to take hours for you to do. Some of them don't have to take more than a few seconds or 5 minutes, and they can be really transformational. And the reason why they can be important is because it's just the act of bringing attention and awareness to yourself, checking in with yourself, being present. That can really help to counteract that habitual pattern of overthinking, of getting stuck in always being busy and overworking and not setting boundaries or not taking breaks when you need to. When you can bring intentionality to doing these things, it can help reverse those patterns that you've probably gotten stuck in and have been kind of in for years, if not decades, if not your whole life. And so it's going to take time to practice getting out of them. However, when you can become more intentional about that and take small steps daily, and it's not about perfection. It's not about saying I'm going to go from doing none of these things to then 5 things a day, every single day for the rest of my life. So it's about recognizing, so I wasn't journaling yesterday, wasn't doing these things to check in with myself. And now I have taken the steps to start to become more aware of my thoughts and my emotions and practice more of that self-care for my mental health. And even the act of taking the steps to do these things can help to build your self-worth because you are communicating to yourself by taking these actions that my needs are important and I am valuable and it is important for me to take care of myself. It is not an act of selfishness because I gave this metaphor to one of my clients in the past and it really helped her to think of it in that way. But that's like saying that needing to eat is selfish. Needing to have a meal when you're hungry is an act of prioritizing that and saying that you're more important than others. It's just not the case. It is essential for us to care for our mental health in order to be there for ourselves, but not only for ourselves, but in order to show up for others, in order to be fully present for the people that we love, in order to be fully present at work and in any other roles that you fulfill in your life. With that said, I want you to focus and remember it's about progress, not perfection. So take what resonates with you and leave the rest. This is not about doing everything on this list. This is about taking the practices that are helpful for you, reflecting on what you notice from doing them. And if you find that they're helpful for you, then continuing them and making them a part of your routine. So my first tip is daily presence. And so this can include just what it sounds like, making it a point to even once during your day, practice being present. And this can be done really easily by taking a deep breath, just breathing in. If you can do it with me now. And then just noticing what it feels like in your body, tuning into your senses, tuning into what do you actually see around you? What do you hear? What can you feel if you touch, your clothing or surface in front of you or what's near you? What can you smell or taste? Just tuning into those senses. And this can be it's called a grounding technique, but a practice to utilize if you find that you're really getting stuck in your head and really overthinking things and really rushing from one thing to the next and feeling overwhelmed. Just taking a few seconds or a few minutes if possible to just check in with the present moment. Feel your feet on the floor. Notice that you are in the location that you are, bring your attention back to the present. This can be a super helpful technique that you can utilize at any moment of the day, even if it's once a day, to help you to calm your mind and become more present. My next tip is to journal for calm. So what I mean by this is writing down and doing a brain dump of what's on your mind, if there are any worries, if there are any thoughts, getting them out of your head and onto paper can help you to release them in some way. It can help to stop kind of like the overthinking and fixating on things. And I want you to focus on your emotions. So when you get out what's on your mind, identify how am I feeling, name some of those emotions, because that can help to deactivate some of the emotional intensity you might be feeling. And just process and get out what's going on for you, what's on your mind. So those 2 steps, if you want to leave it there, that's great. If you want to take it a step further, one practice that I enjoy doing to end my journal sessions with is by bringing in some self-compassion. So let's say I've written down a bunch of worries and fears and difficult emotions. I enjoy ending it off with, okay, how can I speak to myself kindly? How can I give myself a pep talk at this point? So you're not just ending with getting out all the negativity, but you are transforming it and saying, all right, I'm doing the best I can, and that's all I can do. This isn't going to last forever. Whatever words you might say, and you might think of, okay, what would I say to somebody else in this situation? That can be a great practice to utilize. And again, this does not have to be you're writing pages and pages of things for your journal. This could be you set a timer for 5 minutes, or you just get out what's on your mind and let it be. This can be a great practice before bed at night if you struggle with getting to sleep and overthinking things at night. So my next tip is to take space, and this could be in whatever way that means for you. So this could be if you normally eat lunch at your desk and you're not relaxing and you're not taking a break, maybe actually being intentional and eating your lunch somewhere else in the kitchen at your office or wherever else you can, or going out for lunch. It could mean, just taking a 5-minute breather in between meetings. So doing whatever it is you can to take space and take a break for yourself throughout your day. Sometimes even these quick moments of just breathing, being intentional, taking some time for yourself, turning your brain off can be really powerful to help you to cultivate more calm in your mind. My next tip is to observe your thoughts. So what I mean by this is that many times we can get caught up in thoughts and see thoughts as being factual, seeing them as this is just the reality of the situation. And many times our thoughts are not factual, especially if they are fear-based and anxiety-based. They can be negative, they can be the worst case scenario, they can be exaggerations or assumptions. And so if you can observe those thoughts but not believe them, not see them as being factual, then that can be really helpful to help you to recognize that, okay, I don't need to follow this thought down the rabbit hole and assume that what it's saying is true. And so this can be something that you can just practice throughout your day. And it takes practice. But the first step is catching yourself and noticing, okay, what thoughts are coming up here? Are these thoughts factual? Be more aware of them and learn that you can notice those thoughts and then choose, okay, I'm not going to believe those thoughts. I'm not going to follow those thoughts. And that can really help to transform how you feel, help you to look at things more objectively and more calmly. And my next tip is to take action. So if it's something that you're struggling with making a decision, then it can really help to take action, because that can nip that overthinking and that worrying about things and feeling anxious in the bud. So whether it is having a conversation, whether it is taking the first step on something you've been procrastinating, whether it is just doing the thing that makes you uncomfortable and pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone. So taking action can be really helpful in cultivating calm. It might sound counterintuitive because calm can make you feel like, all right, I'm just doing nothing. I'm staying in my comfort zone. But sometimes staying in your comfort zone is actually going to create more anxiety and more unease in the long run, because it communicates to your brain, okay, this is something that is really scary because I keep avoiding it. So I need to keep being scared of it and keep having and creating these worrisome thoughts. So taking action and doing the thing actually helps to build confidence, which helps to cultivate calm. Those are my tips. I have one more bonus tip. And like I mentioned before, if you want a step-by-step explaining what to do for each and a daily checklist to help you keep track of these habits, then you can get it for free by going to calmlycoping.com/calm. So my bonus tip is self-compassion. So this is an overarching mindset tip that can be helpful when it comes to cultivating calm and calming your mind from the negative thoughts, from the pressure that you put on yourself, especially the pressure. So if you struggle with having a strong inner critic, this can be really valuable. And the practice of self-compassion is something that if you listen to my podcast, you've probably heard me mention many times before, but it's just the act of being kind to yourself and speaking to yourself like you would to a friend. So anytime you catch yourself being hard on yourself or having super high unrealistic expectations or expecting perfectionism, see if you can recognize that and replace that with some self-compassion, being understanding towards yourself, not having such unrealistic expectations. It doesn't mean that you're not going to strive for your goals and what you want, but it means you're going to be more understanding, and that's going to actually help you feel better and help you work towards the things you want with more resiliency, because you're going to be more able to cope with the things that come your way when you're practicing self-compassion. So your action tip is to take the tips that I shared in this episode, start putting them into action. Download the checklist if you want more support in being intentional with checking them off, if that's helpful for you. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this episode. You can leave me a comment below if you're watching on YouTube and let me know what helps you calm your mind. And if you are listening to the podcast, join our free Facebook community, Calmly Coping, by going to calmlycoping.com/group and letting us know the answer to that question, what helps you calm your mind. While you wait for next week's episode, I have other episodes about decreasing anxiety, adopting a healthy mindset, and managing your time and energy. So make sure you check out these episodes here. Thank you so much for tuning in today. And until next time, be calm.